So the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are 1-0 after beating the Atlanta Falcons 23-20 in a crazy game. This was a tremendous contest for many reasons for Tampa Bay. One, they're the only team in the NFC South to win in Week 1. Two, they have now won the season opener 5 straight years. They haven't lost a Week 1 contest since 2020. Todd Bowles remains perfect in Weeks 1 and 2. Looking to keep that going against Houston this upcoming week on Monday Night Football. But having said that, this was probably a C type of effort from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in this contest. They lost a time of possession by nearly 10 minutes. They were outgained by nearly 100 yards. They had 1 sack, no turnovers. They really did not play the brand of football we all thought they were going to play entering the season, and they still found a way to win. Usually that's a mark of a really good team. They don't have Tristan Wirfs yet. They don't have Chris Godwin. They didn't play with Christian Izien. Benjamin Morrison wasn't available. We're hoping that Izien and Morrison will be available for Monday Night Football. And surprisingly enough, I know McCollum left the game a little bit earlier in the contest, returned. But as far as we know right now, there are no big injuries to report after the Week 1 contest. One of the biggest surprises happened before the first snap on offense, and that was Graham Barton going over to left tackle, Ben Bredesen to center, and then also Michael Jordan to left guard. We've been asking Todd Bowles and the organization about Charlie Heck and what they're going to do with him at left tackle and how they're going to, figure things out. And maybe we didn't ask a more direct question about, well, could Graham Barton be playing Week 1 at the left tackle position? But that was certainly a surprise that they kept under wraps successfully, and they hid that all the way up until Week 1. So here's the thing. Last year with the Buccaneers, they were on the wrong side of a lot of these coin flippy games. Now, maybe we're seeing a little bit of a positive regression, the fact that they were able to head to Atlanta and win a game they weren't supposed to. Just like last year, Atlanta won a game they probably weren't supposed to in their own building. A shout out to Michael Penix Jr. He looks like he's going to be a problem in this division for a long time. Certainly a local product here in the Tampa Bay area, and a guy who was impressive. Totaled nearly 320 yards of offense, had 2 scores. Was successful at the end of their drive, an 18-play, 91-yard drive to put his team ahead. He was pretty clutch and should have gotten his team into overtime if not for a missed field goal. Speaking of field goals, Chase McLaughlin also logged one of his worst games as a Tampa Bay Buccaneer, but also we saw maybe one of the best return games from the Buccaneers in recent memory with Cameron Johnson and Sean Tucker having success as punt returner and kick returner. So when we look back at the tape, I'm very interested to see, were there any big changes defensively? Because all off season, we've talked about the necessity for more turnovers, the 4-man rush, not just getting pressure, but finishing the pressure. They only had 1 sack, and that was Hassan Reddick making his presence known in his first game with the Bucs. So certainly want to see how Todd Bowles was utilizing his defensive pieces. Antoine Winfield Jr. made the play of the game at the end, saving a touchdown in the final seconds there before the missed field goal. Also want to look operationally at Josh Grizzard's first game as offensive coordinator. Certainly felt like there were ebbs and flows. Reminded me a little bit of Dave Canales early on in his career with the Buccaneers, where it was a slow start, and as the game went on, the team started to find some things, even though Dave Canales never really had a successful rushing attack with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and still this team was able to go north of 100 yards, something they've done consistently now for a while. Also, Baker Mayfield. I know that there were some missed throws out there. Certainly there was one to Cade Otton he would like back, but he threw some absolute seeds in this contest against the Falcons. You think back to the Ibuka touchdown, the first one and the second one. Those were elite type of throws. Also some third down conversions. He made things happen with his legs once again. Baker is just a gamer, and maybe not an A-plus game from him, but certainly not a D or a C- game from him either. I think that's probably what we're going to see as an average to a slightly above average game from Baker Mayfield as we start getting a larger sample size here. So a really great way for the team to start the year. Emeka Egbuka, man, how smart does Jason Light look grabbing this guy? 2 touchdowns in his first game in the NFL. He's only the second Buccaneer ever to log 2 touchdowns in his debut in the league. The other was Alex Smith, the tight end, back in 2005. So certainly a historic game for him, especially scoring in the final minute, which has only been done twice now in 55 years for a rookie to accomplish that feat, to score a game-winning touchdown in the final minute of a game. So we will see what this team is made of now on Monday Night Football against the Texans team that put up a great fight against the LA Rams in LA. If it weren't for a fumble from a former Buccaneer, Dare Ogunbowale, Houston might have left LA with a victory. So you know they're going to come back hungry. The Buccaneers have not won a primetime game in the regular season since Tom Brady was quarterback. I think you have to go back to Christmas in Arizona for the last regular season game. The last primetime win came against the Eagles in Tampa in the playoffs a couple of years ago. So this will be a great showcase for the team. Certainly a squad that we think is going to get better as the weeks pile on. But no matter what, even if it wasn't pretty, it doesn't matter. Getting wins in the NFL is hard. Getting wins in the division's even harder. And now you just got a little bit of a cushion there with a tiebreaker scenario, beating a team that you're going to have to see again later in the season, but to mentally know you're 1-0, not just on everybody in the division, but 1-0 with tiebreaker scenarios, that's really important. So let's see how this next week goes as we enter week 2.